many sights to see. And when I look in my window, so many different...
Hello traders, Gary Wagner with WFGForex.com, your daily market update for Forex Gold. It is Friday, the 9th day of April, and this is our weekend review. What a week we had in the market. Gold closing substantially higher at 1161.65, and that's the buy price. The asking price is actually 1162. Very, very interesting week in the market. I want to point our attention to a couple of things, and we'll update our stop and our current position towards the end of the broadcast. But we talked about this a little bit. This was the pennant formation that I saw forming. And I'm simply basing it upon a couple of sets of lows, this long-legged doji here, this cluster here, these highs here, and here. The big news happened when we broke out above the 1125 area. I think what we saw was after we broke above this particular resistance area, right at 1125, that's when we saw the energy build. The following day we had a small candle, but we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days with higher closes. We have had a week where we have seen the market move from under 1125 to over 1160, so a $35 plus move in the gold market. Traders, as you know, we are currently long. We initiated our position back on March 25th. We had the market come down. We had the on neck pattern that I talked about, but what I really found interesting and what really drew me to the trade was a support area simply based upon this particular set of lows that happened after the sell-off. In other words, the first bottom that we saw after the record top, we matched up perfectly. We looked for confirmation. Our exact words were we wanted to see the market overnight move higher. It was trading in the low 1090 area, and so our traders got in officially right around 1097. We've been trailing our stops up all the way. Our stops currently are sitting at 1132, which is roughly in this area here, and we added more positions at 1145 on a scale purchase. My recommendation at that point was to add 50%, meaning if you're long 10 contracts of gold, you'll add another 5, but add 50% as a scale. Now, we are going to be moving the stop up, and we're going to be moving it up a little bit tighter, because the scenario that I'm looking at is as follows. Trees do not grow to the sky, never have, never will. It's a saying from Paul Volcker. He used it about the stock market. We are right now in a very critical area. It closed right at this upper level resistance point. I didn't expect it to get this high this quickly. We now have a weekend to kind of wait to see as traders digest the news. We've had a lot of fund buying. We've had a lot of physical buying. The fundamentals have been extremely solid and bullish for the gold market, as we can see in terms of where it's traded at. Now, where is it going to go from here? Whenever I look for particular points in which I think the market might go to, I typically will go to Fibonacci retracement. I've put up our long-term Fibonacci retracement, again, based on this absolute low that came out in October. And this low was the last low it hit before it, on the third attempt, broke 1,000 and went to the record tops. And of course, I'm using my high as that 1221 area. Now, the interesting thing is we've substantially just steamrolled through a couple of percents, but right in here, we have what I'm going to call a double resistance line. Now, bear with me on this, traders. Now, the absolute top after the market came down on this first upside wave after we had our corrective wave was right here to the T. Based on Fibonacci retracement, just above that at 1170 is our 23% level of retracement. So traders, we've not only got to get through one area, But we've got to break through two areas. Now, here's my feeling. We're going to see obviously one of two things happen, the market go higher or lower, but here's what I'm looking at. If the market can form a base, meaning it starts to trade and moves above this, forming some sort of a base, I think the next level that we're about to see tested is it's going to run and actually go to test and go above 1200. Now, some traders might think that that's an astounding call. However, the one thing we want to realize at this point is that the euro dollar cross spread or cross trade against gold is already trading above its record level. It is now at an all-time high. So for us to say that we might in fact see the US dollar gold go to an all-time high is not as far-fetched when you consider the fact that the euro is trading at an all-time high. The other scenario, obviously, is that it hits this resistance, and if it does, I think it will pull back just below the 140 level. It would pull back, in my opinion, to only go down one level in the Fibonacci retracements. Reason is I'm extremely bullish on gold. But here's what I'm thinking, traders. The fact that the euro is at a record top is absolutely significant. And we need to see how it reacts in this area, more importantly than anything. In terms of where we're going to move our stops, we are going to move our stop below these two candles in here. It's at 1132. Traders, move your stop to 1142 on a protective stop. Again, 1142 on a protective stop for both the position that you bought at 1097 as well as the scale or the add-on that we bought at 1045. If the market wants to continue higher, as I've talked to you about all week, I want us to be along for the ride. However, if the market does want to pull back and take some profits before this last wave that I think it will make sometime in the next few months over 1200, then we want to pull profits, possibly position ourselves in a reversal, and look to re-enter from the long side. I certainly know that we got into this trade at a very good point. As I've been talking about, we entered at 1097. We're not really too far off from the bottom. This has been an excellent week. This has been Gary Wagner for WFGForex.com, your daily market update for Forex Gold, the weekend review, and wishing you, as always, good trading. Bye-bye.
People to be that it's strange